Hello guys, welcome to Zach Animate Studios, your channel number one for graphic design and animation. Coding bado hatujawachwa nyuma kabisa. So it has been a minute. Yesterday we set up our system. Basically we set up our workflow. We wanted to create a mobile application, and just today we are just going to continue with that the same. We want to create a page, and then we are going to link it on the home page, and then that page is going to have content from our app, which is the XAF tour application. So we are going to do some three major things. We are going to add some values: first name, last name, email address, username and password, and even the website. So basically that is just what we want to do. We add some values on this database. Let me call it this database. We add some values, we add some text. We're going to, as we add that information, we are going to pass that information through to our API. We are going to create an API that will pass data. That is, will pass data through the API via the ORM data model. At the same time, we can also pass data through we have the ORM, and also we have the data from you can either use ORM, or you can also do some data model from this one. We normally call it let me just open it. We can also get data from data model. Okay, this is Entity Framework. Okay, Entity Framework. So let's brace ourselves and then get ready to get started. So my approach today, we will start with the data. We are going to create some views here. First, we are going to create the page. We're going to create page which is a customer page, and then we are going to create a service page. At the same time, we are going to create a customer page, a service function, and then we are going to create the API that will receive data. We're going to test that data, and lastly we can start, but even we will start with now the tour app first. I mean the customer first. So we'll be able to create customers from the database, that is, and then that data can be received from the app this other side. So let's dive in. So that will be our introduction. We're going to start from there. So guys, hold on tight. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to our channel. This is Zach from Zach Animate Studios, your channel number one for graphic design and animation, and also coding. So basically putting our logics and thoughts together so that we can come up with amazing products. So right about now, let's get started. Let's get our fade suite wet. So first and foremost, we shall go through our files and folders. So at the same time, we can, after we have done everything, we can now compile this application into a mobile application, and we can push it through. That is, now we can synchronize this application to a mobile application, and we can also see how it functions. So brace ourselves. We are not going to handle are not going to do some we are just going to do this so we ensure our functions are working. So as on our screen we have the app.ts. We just want to import something here. First we are going to import HTTP client module. We're going to import HTTP client module. Import HTTP client module. Go import HTTP client module. There's a nice way I normally do it, so let me just remove that. We are going to do this import browser module, and then we can just do some comma here, comma, and then just add there HTTP client module. So because I have so you can just click. So this one is import statement. You can use it has reshaper, and then also this is WebStorm. So it has all those functions to help you code as quick as possible. So the first thing, we are going to create a service page, and the way to go about it is Ionic G. So I normally use CMD. I know I don't always want to give permissions to PowerShell for some reasons, so I just use CMD. So with that, what we're going to do, we're going to just write Ionic G. So it's going to generate, we're going to generate a service. So we are going to generate a service. You just wait a little just a minute. It's going to, so we are going to select a service, and then you're just going to call it services/global. So that is going to be on a service folder. There will be a service folder, and then that is going to be called global. So it's going to generate for us a service. So on that service we are going to, so this is where we are going to create our it will receive data from our API. That is the first step we are going to do. And then after it has generated the service, we are going also just to generate a page, and then we're just going to call it a customer page, and then we are going to leave it like that. So as you can see, we have now a page, a folder we call a service, a page called global.service. Let me see, where is it? Pages. So we have services there, and then global.service. So this is what we are going to have there. That is first thing, you are going to have that first. And then on pages, we are also going just to create a page called an Ionic generate pages, itakuwa pages, and then we're going to call it customers. Okay, so that is where we are going to put information. That is where information from customer API will reside. Okay, so that is first thing first. So on pages also we have customer page. So we'll have customer. So we have the HTML functions for Ionic, we have the CSS, we have this one. So this one, the customer, this one is the one that will have at this point we're going to pass in data from a service page. Let me just show you the way we are going to pass data. We are going to pass data from a service. So first thing, we are going just on the constructor, we are just going to import private HTTP client. We'll have private HTTP client there. That is oh no, okay, sorry for that. This one, okay, we'll have client there. And also, okay, first, the way a service accepts data, it uses the HTTP function. So HTTP functions allows data from APIs. So private, we call it private HTTP client. HTTP client, I want it to be caps lock, like okay, camel HTTP client, and then from HTTP, okay, HTTP client, okay. Okay, so that HTTP client, so, and then also you import, that is so from HTTP, private HTTP client is HTTP client, that is from Angular header. So basically it is from that, okay. So that is, we are going to import HTTP client, and then we are going now to import what we are going to do, we are just going to import now we are going to import the global service into our page, and the way to go about it is so we are just going to import the global service into our page. So basically we are just going to say private service. So from the customer page, customer.ts, private service we imported from global service, okay. Global service, private service from private service, global service, okay, global.service. That is, so any information from this global service, anything that is any construction, any function that will pass it here, let's say like get customers, get customers function. This one is going to get all the customers, so all the customers, so like getting all the customers which are not yet there. It is on the global service, and when you go to customer service.ts, you can just refer it on init. On init you can say on init you can just say you can get now, okay, you can now get information through the services. So you can just say services, Control Z, you can just say services service dot get customer. So it is going to get information via so you are going to access these functions from this initialization. This service is going to get the function that you want from now the global service, which is get customers, which is this get customers, and this part where get customers is, you are going now to implement getting customers from the API. So on the way to get customers from API, we can just say that we can use observable. We can use observable. So customers, we can say, we can extend it via observable. Observable, that is from RDX, and then now we can pass in now any which will return. We can return this dot client, HTTP client, which will pass a URL. That is, you can pass the any plus any URL that you have. Okay, so you can pass a URL plus, now you can now pass plus a URL that you have. So at this point we can specify the URL of our API. So at this point we can specify the URL of our API, which is going to be cancel. Sorry, remote. Let me just, there has been a disconnection from my server. Sorry for that. There has been a disconnection from my server. My server had disconnected. Just sorry for that. So at this point, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, so we can specify the URL of our API. So we just specify the URL of our API is constant. So const app, okay, app URL is equals to, so basically it is going to be that URL of that API. So we can just use that, like that is the URL of the API. Sorry for that, but that is what is required. So it is okay, it is one. Okay, so that is the app URL that we want to specify, and then we are going to pass that data. So this function is going to call data from the API, but we can pause from this point, and then what we are going just to do, what I really mean is when you fire up an API, So which is our API? Let's just first open our tour API. We have our values here. When I click on, let me just use a debugging mode. Let me use debugging. I want to use debugging mode. That is the best I can. So first I will just fire up my tour app, my API first. This URL that is going to provide for us, okay? This is the URL that our API is going to provide for us. So let me first fire it up. I'm going to fire the API first. So this is what we're going to see. Let us open it up to API. So I don't know if it has started running. Let's fire it up. It's going to provide us with a URL for development, that is of this API. It is here. It's running. It is running. So let's just wait it on the browser. This is the API URL. This is what I'm going to. This URL is what I'm going to specify. I'm going to specify on the app, constant app. So this app, this is the URL that I will place it there. And then so what really remains here is app URL. So this is the app URL plus app URL plus now this part is where we are going to specify the API where the API is really located, basically where the API functions of getting that data is located. Okay, so I'm going to dismiss that so that it accepts. So let's just wait for it in a second. If you have not subscribed to our channel, I will invite you to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on the latest news, the latest videos that we are producing. Consider subscribing. Remember, when you are working with API MySQL, remember the service has to be the database service has to be running. So what I was telling you about is this API. Let's say we want to get values. Okay, so at this point I want to use this one. Okay, API slash API values. Okay, Control C. So at this point in my desk on my app, I'm going to specify now this app URL. So this is where it is going to select and get values, get customer. So it is going to call on all the values. So it is going to pass. So basically when I do that, when I go back to the browser, what I really mean is it is going to go into this this is the API endpoint that is going to reach out to address and get data from. So this is what it really means at this point. When I say that the get customer functions is going now to get all the data from this API, this app URL plus these API values. So that is what we are going to get at first. So I want to give a 10-minute break, and then the next 20 minutes, the next round, we are going now to create data from. Now basically we are going to create more functions from the tour app, main tour app. We are going to add more data from it first, and then at the end of this journey, we are going to have data into the database, and then we are going to call data through the applications, and then we are going to display data on the browser. Basically, we are going to display data via a route here. Let's say we are going to have a customers, which is so that when we go to link for customers, we'll have a customer page here, which I will show you in the next video. We'll have customers, and then it will pull data from the database into the application. So guys, cheers. Remember to subscribe to our channel. We are doing this Ionic thing. Our computer is messing up, but we don't have to worry anything. For guys, Zack Anime Studios, we are in control, and creativity one step at a time. Let's take a break.